It's Monday, it's gold game film time. It's Frank Holmes who's going to set up the week for us. Frank, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
Let's start with the Fed minutes that came out last Wednesday that are still getting some airtime today on this Monday. Now, it seems like there wasn't really much said in those minutes, yet everyone just jumped all over the dialogue. What did you make of it?
Well, I think the minutes, there are a lot of stale data points for people making those decisions. But what investors have to recognize is this whole advent of computerized trading and computerized reading words. And they, like I've mentioned before, Google on steroids. They read the minutes, they could do regressional studies, and if these two words are together or these 5 words are sequenced, then immediately they start buying or selling. So I think that it's just that this is what you're dealing with, lots of noise there.
All right, let's start with some opportunities this week, and we're going to talk about gold producers. Now, it seems like some major banks are starting to take notice that the supply crunch is coming. What do you make of it, Frank? There's some big data points that came out from some of these banks last week.
Well, I think that Goldman Sachs came out with a report that since 2012 that CapEx is down 52% in exploration and development of gold. So they're forecasting a 7% decline in supply of gold. I think that the RBC report, they like to talk about in denial, and you go through those 3 stages: rationalize, restructure, and refinance. And today we're seeing announcements with companies reposition themselves. It's interesting to see Orico is emerging with Almost Gold, and I think that's a shift back to Canada. I think the growth for that new co is back in Canada.
Yes, that $1.5 billion merger announced early this morning by Alamos and Orico. Now, we've seen other companies combine in the last little while. Do you see more mergers like this on the horizon?
I do. I think there's no doubt where this weaker countries' currencies are, where gold is still relatively attractive. You see gold in euro terms is a breakout, yen terms, and in Canadian dollar. Gold looks fabulous. Gold looks fabulous in Colombian peso terms, in Mexican peso terms. So I think that you'll see money shifting, but it's not just going to shift to a lot of Latin American countries because the government policies there have been unsafe. They keep moving the goalposts on taxation, and capital for mining is a long-term investment. So all of a sudden, you go from having a positive rate of return to a quickly negative rate of return. So money will not go into those countries.
Moving on to threats, we're going to go to India and look at some temple gold that the government might be able to get their hands on based on comments by Prime Minister of India last week. How do you see that, Frank? Is that a threat for gold?
Well, it is definitely a threat because of the idea that India, see the numbers in India? I mean, they're double from a year ago of gold imports. And it affects the foreign currency trade. I think that that's a significant factor of what they're trying to do is curtail. They're going to have to pay more money for it. But I don't know that people are going to trust. And in India, there's always been this sort of repetitive pattern of corruption. And so I don't know from that end. But it's a good idea. Will it have a significant, big impact on gold imports? No, I don't think so. I think that gold's basically the same as a year ago. I think important is China. What is China doing? And I also think the other part is seeing Turkey. There's lots of drama with regard to Turkey, and now they've been selling gold. So there's a whole thing in trade of gold and interest rates. So you see their currency being weak because of the trade they have with Iran. So they're buying oil or natural gas from Iran, and they're paying with gold. And so therefore it showed as a positive trade when really it's not true. There's been negative. It doesn't really show the amount of gold going in the country. So I think these are more disruptive.
And sticking with threats, we're going to look at Eldorado Gold and Greece, clashes between union workers and police over the weekend over the closing of a road to the mine. Now, it seems like this situation is just really unraveling over there right now.
Yeah, it's economic anarchists. It's just hardcore socialism and unionism that is running Greece, and it's just part of these massive delays and disappointments, which I think are only going to add to a lack of gold supply coming out of mining. Not only the head grade, not only the cuts in exploration and development. These are old mines. When they were spending feverishly at 2009, 10, 11, there's no major discoveries made. So now we're going to turn around and see these delays and disappointments in new production, I think in the next 5 years, you're going to see supply of gold decline.
All right, Frank, and that brings us to our touchdown pass of the week, or maybe it'll be our birdie putt of the week at the Masters. What do you got?
Unbelievable young guy. Unbelievable. It's great to see new blood coming out and stirring up the pot with records of performance. And it doesn't matter what the sporting event or if it's in the financial market, someone that's new technology. It's just great to see. Now, when it comes to this week, what's going to be is the big numbers Friday is CPI. The strong positive real rates of return in the U.S. have led to this dollar being so strong. So will the CPI tick up? We'll get a precursor to that with the industrial production numbers coming up this week. But the big number, I think, is Friday.
And that's a wrap. Thanks, Frank.
Take care. Happy investing this week.
And thank you for watching this edition of Gold Game Film. As always, comments and questions are welcome at newsfeedback@kitco.com. Have a great week.